What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about 9 countries that don't want American tourists anymore. So, I'm aware that a lot of people around the world are not happy with the United States, especially right now, right? And a lot of people don't even want to travel here to the US anymore, which honestly, that is painful to hear and painful to have to acknowledge because it's true. And, honestly, I understand why. Because, I mean, everything that the United States has done in the last, 14 or 15 months in particular. I mean, let's be completely honest. Ever since Donald Trump was elected president of the US again, um, things have been going down for the US. Like, things have been declining. Our reputation has gone way down. But so, on top of all that, it's also looking like, Americans, we might not be welcome to travel to other countries either. Is that true? At least that's what this article here is saying. I understand if people don't want to travel here to the US, but it sounds like we might not even be welcome to travel to your country, wherever you might be. Or so today, I really want to take a look at this and try to see just how bad this has gotten for us. So this says these 9 countries have reportedly have little patience for American tourists. I mean, I mean, I know that we have always had like a stereotype of being like sort of bad tourists, like in general, right? That's been for a while. Like Americans were known for being like annoying or loud or inconsiderate or even ignorant, I've heard all that. But now it feels like this has been taken to a different level. Like it's more serious now. You know? Here's why it feels tense. Yeah, it feels tense. So let's take a look here. The first one says number one, France, the frostiest welcome in Europe. Oh, geez. It says France has long carried a reputation for chilliness. Um, I've only heard that French people can be critical when you try to speak French if you're bad at it. That's what I've heard. Honestly, for years it felt like a bit of a joke, the kind of thing guidebooks warn you about. The reality, however, though, has grown considerably more serious since 2024. France leads the pack when Europeans call their own country unwelcoming to American visitors. France is like number one? Doesn't like Americans? Like, seriously? Because, here in the US, I think a lot of Americans really like France. A lot of Americans want to visit France, and in particular, like Paris, and see the Eiffel Tower, and that's like something a lot of people dream of here. Um, so we don't have like any hostility towards French or people or France or so. Yeah, this is like kind of disturbing. A 2025 upgraded points survey found roughly 15% of French respondents, so this is a poll that they did, 15% responded admitting Americans aren't always wanted, fueled by perceptions of loudness and entitlement. Entitlement. Okay. I think a lot of Americans feel entitled. Yeah, okay. Because we do have a culture here in the US of being a bit self centered, like focusing on yourself. So I think that we probably carry that over when we go to other countries for sure. Like everything should be about us. Like Especially, I know that there's Americans who go on vacation, and if they're not having a good time, they're going to complain. They think everything should be about making their vacation or holiday the best possible. Like that's the only thing that matters. Yeah, that's fair. US favorability in France has plunged 33 points by early 2025. Early 2025, again that lines up with when Donald Trump was elected, right? Favorability fell a lot, tied directly to trade disputes and political tensions. This is not a quirk. This is documented. This is data. This is not like an opinion. The data literally shows that France thinks less of us. France's disapproval rating for the United States currently sits at 67? Like 67% disapprove? Or or 33%. Either way, it's horrible. This level of animosity can make it hard for Americans to feel welcome, regardless of how hard they try. Oh my God. I mean, I don't even know what to take away from this. Like, is this honestly? You'd have to talk to a French person, I guess, to real. Or the number two is Germany. You'd have to talk to a German person to like really get to the answer. Like, I guess it depends on which person you talk to, but it's like, do you just not want Americans to come to your country at all? Or because at least when we come, we're like spending money and contributing to the economy. I get it. Is that like do anything? Is that enough? Number two, Germany, a tourism free. Oh my God, really? Germany and America once had a historically warm relationship. Berlin felt like one of those cities, rare cities, where being American was almost cool. Oh my God. It was almost, you almost thought we were cool once. This is so sad to read, man. Because I don't think Americans really realize. Because a lot of us don't ever travel into other countries, so we don't even get this perspective. Um, I don't think Americans realize how much our reputation has been damaged. Like, it even says right here, Germany and America had a good relationship, and now it's like bad. Statistics from 2020, it's all from 2025 as well, very recent. Germany ranks number one with a steep 61% drop in interest in visiting America. So Germans don't want to come here. 61% drop. These are huge numbers. Followed by Canada with a 40% drop. German tourist visits the US declined. It's like a broken friendship. Oh my God. Number three, Denmark. Denmark? Oh, because of Greenland. Denmark and Green. Oh God, of course. This one this one I particularly think I understand because like Trump literally threatened to invade Greenland, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. So it's a huge insult to Denmark. So this one makes sense to me. Like it all makes sense to me, but I can see why Danish people are really, really upset. This was like a direct threat to them. Denmark might not be the first country yes, you would, because the Greenland situation broke something in the Danish-American dynamic. Renewed interest in acquiring Greenland angered Danish citizens and government. They took it personally. Roughly 74% of Danes view the U.S. unfavorably. 74% of the whole Danish population views the U.S. unfavorably. This is so bad. So bad. And I don't... The frustrating thing is like, what are we even going to do to change this? Trump has been elected. Sure, I guess he could be like impeached, but that is very rare. I don't know if anything's really going to change for 3 years when when his term runs out, you know? And if anything, things are getting crazier. Number four, Norway? Silent resentment. Really? Norway? Norway does not do dramatic outbursts. It's reserved, measured, polite. That's what makes the data coming out of this nation so striking. Norwegians are signaling discomfort. Scandinavian countries, that's like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, stood out in a lot of these surveys with a big impact on tourism. Norway topped the list at 44%, saying in 2024 the US presidential election impacted how they view American travelers. Yeah, I think that's another disturbing part of this is like I think a lot of Americans like are hoping that we are not judged overall for Donald Trump's actions. Now, obviously, Americans we are responsible as a whole for electing Donald Trump. But like half of the US didn't vote for Donald Trump. So and even those who I think a lot of people who did vote for him are even starting to regret that. Actually, funny enough. So that's saying something. So I guess what I'm saying is, do people like view America as negative? Donald Trump in particular as bad, or just altogether like Donald Trump, the U.S. government, the United States, the American people? Is it all just one thing, and you're just like screw them, forget they're terrible? Is it just all lumped together, or is it like can you separate like Donald Trump and good Americans? I guess at the end of the day, that's what I'm asking. Um, Norway topped the list. I can't believe that. Estonia, Sweden, Denmark, Finland. Half of Norway reconsidered how it views American visitors. Wow. Who else? Spain? Tourists go home banners? There's people out there with like banners saying go home, American tourists. Spain is one of the most beautiful countries. Americans love it. Yeah, Americans love all these places. That's the thing is a lot of Americans would be really shocked because I think Americans who like to travel, they love these places like Norway, Denmark, Spain, and France, and Germany, and yeah, these are like some of the most. When Americans do travel, these are like the places. So, and we still love these places. You know, these are the places you hear about that everyone wants to go to. So it's depressing that we like everyone pretty much, you know, generally, and everyone kind of hates us. But again, I it's not really about that. It's more about the political stuff. I think this is mostly the Donald Trump stupid American, like the election, putting him in power, and really like very, very, very significant consequences in the last year. Like, let's be honest, it's bad. The love and the scale has become genuinely exhausting for the people who live in Spain. Spain welcomed close to 94 million international visitors. Spain gets a lot of tourism. Protests in 2025 against over tourism drew it to. Oh, Spanish people have been protesting. So Spain gets too much tourism. People in Barcelona were spraying water pistols at visitors. Oh my God. Americans perceived as some of the loudest, most entitled get grouped into this by default. Huh. Portugal. Annoyance. Portugal? Here's one thing about Portugal. I don't know much about Portugal. It's by Spain, right? It has always been considered one of the warmer, welcoming corners of Europe. Its frustration with American tourists is very telling. It's not rooted in historical political friction, it's behavioral. Portugal topped the list of countries where locals said they feel annoyed by American tourists, 18.8%. That's the highest annoyance figure. You guys do data and polls on how annoying you think we are? Oh my God. Oh no. I think most of this is political, but some of this is just like people think we're annoying. Netherlands, the city that told tourists to stay away, Amsterdam has been blunt about how it feels. It launched a campaign telling visitors not to come. Some of this is like Spain and the Netherlands. They feel like there's just too many tourists in general. That's a little different than trying to ban American tourists, but certainly we're lumped in there. Oh, Japan, culture of respect. Japan is very, very, very popular. Like a lot of people want to go there. One of the most culturally precise places, rules matter, etiquette matters. In many popular areas like Kyoto, Tokyo, Mount Fuji, over tourism. Is this just over tourism? Americans stereotyped as the loudest, most entitled. I keep seeing that. So basically, if I understand this, there's a lot of countries that already think we're annoying. You think we're loud, entitled, ignorant, and I'm sure that's true to a large extent. I try not to be that way. Maybe I'm overcompensating for the worst Americans. I don't know. So we had a bad reputation, and now with Trump and the U.S. government and the trade and the wars, it's worse. Oh, nine, Canada. Oh man, Canada. Because Trump has, just like Denmark, where Trump personally offended them, Trump has like personally attacked Canada several times. Canada, the friendly, hockey loving, famously polite neighbor, the idea that Canadians would cool down on Americans feels absurd until you look at the data. Uh, it's, what is this? Travel bookings from Canada to the US have decreased by 70%. Canadians don't want to come here anymore. Well, Trump threatened to want to take over Canada, basically, as well. So it's kind of like Greenland. Canada's decision to restrict travel to the US has costed the US over $4.5 billion. Canada has been boycotting us. Yeah. Anti American sentiment is on the rise. Oh my god. It's so bad. It's so bad. But obviously it's not fun to hear, but I think it's important for Americans to be aware. Like I want to be aware of this, aware of how people view us, aware of if we're welcome, and if people are unhappy, we need to change. Like we shouldn't be getting mad and defensive. We need to make a change. That's all I think about it. Okay. Traveling is still worth it. The world is beautiful. Yeah. And I'm sure there's people out there who will say like we don't hate all Americans. We just hate the stupid ones. Selfishly, I hope that's true. And probably really disapprove of our government and Trump and a lot of our decisions. And I mean, maybe that's hopeful thinking, but obviously a lot of trust has been broken in our reputation as a whole. That's how it works. The American reputation has been hurt. And this really, really, really showed me how. It's worse than I thought, to be honest. So, yeah, it's sad. As an American, it's sad to see, but important to acknowledge. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on, countries who don't really want Americans to visit anymore. Especially if you're from any of these countries, or if you have any thoughts about this and your feelings about this, if you're outside the US, that'd be really cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.